Right.
right? But that's
Mm-hmm.
not the way our media will spin it because of our allyship. So, and then even within that, it's hard to even talk straight on these things because everything is so muddled.
Yeah.
We are unequivocally behind Israel because they suffered this horrible attack. But we pretend like we know nothing about the fact that they have that Netanyahu has actively dismantled much of the democratic principles that we say we support.
Yeah.
Right? They will say, well, Israel is one of the great democracies in the world, but it's not. It's
No.
literally what we're headed towards. It is right around the corner for us. So we're already considered a failing democracy by international standards. We are considered a failing democracy. Israel is a failing democracy further down the path than we are. But we're going to pretend all of these things aren't happening. We're also going to pretend that the blockades that Israel has had on the Palestinian people for 60 years, like that's not there. The the fact that Israel has all the accoutrements, internet, technology, food, weapons, business, everything. Palestine gets 4 hours of electricity a day, not because they can't generate electricity, but because Israel has deemed it so.
Right.
Israel says, well, we want you to flee north, like what the video was saying. Go north because we're going to blow this shit up down here. Sorry, did it again. Go north because we're going to blow this stuff up down here. You had these people crammed into a sardine can,
Mm-hmm. 14 million
and they're
people.
all right, and they're poor, and it's densely packed, and you have checkpoints and barricades all along the path that you're even talking about because you keep stealing land. There is no clear path to get to where you're telling these people to go. It's not the same, but it's like when they were telling poor people in the fourth ward when Katrina was coming through, y'all need to get out. But they can't get out because they can't get out the dang on neighborhood. They don't have the ability, they don't have the means. You're telling me to leave my elders, you're telling me to leave the sick, you're telling me to leave, right? Think about what you're telling these people to do. And I know right now it sounds like, oh, Theus is just all pro Palestine. No, I'm pro vulnerable people. I cannot support anyone that imposes apartheid, segregation, and oppression on a weaker people. I can't support you. No, I reject Hamas entirely. But like to leave the House member, like she was saying, I reject the violence. I reject the terrorist group. I reject all of that. But can we please look at why the terrorist group exists?
Mm-hmm.
Can we please look at what resistance creates? And I'm going to say this and then I'll shut up. I can't help but look, like I said, at this and look at history. And if I was in the time of slavery, I have to believe I would have been on the side of Nat Turner and I'd have wiped out any and everything you got. Man, woman, and child, dog, cat, fish. I don't give a. I would have torn through all of it, and you would have labeled me a terrorist. But all you would have had to do to avoid any of that is acknowledge someone's humanity and take your foot off their. You take your foot off their neck. That's it. Let people have the same amount of freedoms and opportunities to dictate their lives that you insist that you have. Doesn't make it right. It just means you're making certain things inevitable.
All
And when
right.
I was listening to, well, not listening, but reading comments, I mean, from across the world, people are calling the Israeli people who stood up in protest of what happened, they were calling them traitors.
Yeah.
And then I was having it out with this one guy who was saying in defense of Israel that, what are we supposed to do when they come after citizens? And I said, well, okay, you just excused Hamas. Because
Yep.
the Palestinian citizens have been getting this for decades.